Right, now follow that. Apsana Begum, MP.
Right, it's an absolute pleasure and honour to be joining you all today on your strike action. And what amazing conversations I've had already with so many of you, listening to your experiences and your journeys as security guards. I bring solidarity from East London, where, as George has brilliantly said already, we won with Unite the Union members a campaign and a strike action lasting 2 weeks to bring workers back in-house, and that's what needs to happen right across the country, up and down the country, in NHS hospitals, in NHS spaces all over the country. I bring solidarity from East London, where we experience some of the harshest measures and impacts of Tory austerity and Tory legislation. It's not good enough that the government is pressuring workers to go back to work the way that they did in the pandemic, taking them back to work in spaces where they were underprotected and overexposed to the pandemic and the coronavirus. They've done that, and they've done that in the first wave of the pandemic and the second wave of the pandemic, and they're still pressuring workers to work in spaces that are completely unsafe for them. And I think it's incredibly shameful that GOSH have tried to silence you for speaking out against policies, against measures that are causing so much harm. How can they be spending thousands and thousands of pounds on injunctions to try and stop you from exercising your fundamental human rights to protest and to take strike action? It's shameful! Shame on you both!
Shame on God's board!
Shame! Like I have seen in workers at Royal London Hospital, again, people who are majority from ethnic minority backgrounds campaigning and coming on strike 5 o'clock in the morning, in the rain and in the cold. All of you are incredibly inspiring. All of you. For taking the stand that you are, and for being so determined in the way that you are on this strike. And it's been one of the longest strikes. And I know that you've resorted to the direct action measures, and it's been a pleasure to see you all dancing inside those buildings. They should not be able to silence you. You are going to win this strike action. You are going to win, and make sure that you are brought in-house and on agenda change terms and conditions, because that's what's needed for workers across the country and in the hospitals. And let me say this, one more final thing. Speaking to all of you here today, it's really clear that management are taking a strategy of divide and rule. Yes. On the one hand, cleaners have had a fantastic victory, and that's amazing. Congratulations to all of you. But it's really clear that management are trying to play divide and rule. What must be understood is that security guards are just as essential as cleaners at the hospital. Yes. What they are doing by not treating you with fair pay and fair conditions is putting other workers in the NHS at risk. And people often say the NHS is made up of different components and it's independent. You can't have one department without the other. It's all got to work together. But it can't take security guards out of that equation. It means that it puts many more workers at risk. You are working really hard to keep us all safe, children and workers in that hospital, and you deserve much better than this. Solidarity all the way from East London. You're going to win. We're going to win. Solidarity.